We don't want them to have buyer's remorse. We want the sale to be sustained and for them to be happy. So that would be my third principle. Emotion starts the sale and logic sustains it.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Can you share with us the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a property investor and property entrepreneur? Why so many millionaires? More than 1 out of 5 are property, and the other 1 out of 5 are tech entrepreneurs in this podcast. Already 500 millionaires interviews. So why we have so many wealthy people in property? Tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Wait, Harry, I lost you.
Okay, again, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
We're property investors or be a property millionaire. Wow. What is the good thing, the regular thing, and the bad thing of being a property
Oh,
investor?
I see. Okay, I understand the question. So what is the good, bad, and ugly in the land business? I can only talk about land because that's my expertise. So I'll start with the good. The good thing about getting into land investing and making money through land is it's a ton of parcels available. There are like 3,000 plus counties in the US. US is huge. Most of the US is vacant, right? Vacant land. So it's a good opportunity in buying recreational parcels that a lot of people, there's like, you would be surprised the amount of demand there is for land, because when we first got into land, we were like, who's going to buy this land middle of nowhere, right? It's like in Nevada, it's like there's no utilities, but people love it. People love buying land. It's just, I still don't understand why there's this huge demand for it. I understand. In my head, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure some people like it, but just the overwhelming amount of people love it. They usually buy it to put their RVs, to put mobile homes on it, or like an off-grid setup or homesteading, or just for like riding their ATVs, or just for investment purposes, or like speculation purposes. They think it's gonna grow in value. It's just like, and sometimes people just treat it like gold. They just want to buy it because they want to buy it. And other people buy it for legacy purposes. They want to leave something tangible for their kids. So there is a huge demand. So that's the good, right? So if you learn how to perform proper due diligence, you learn how to find good deals, you can make a decent amount of money in land. So that's the good. The bad is, it is a business, right? A lot of people treat it as like a side business, and they don't do very well because they're treating like, oh, I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 deals per year, I'm gonna make $1 million. That's not the reality. You have to you have to do some kind of volume, even if you are doing like mid-sized deals, like if maybe you're buying for 30-40K, because you don't do enough volume, you're not going to get enough experience, you're not going to learn things volume teaches. Like for example, like just getting exposure to different type of deals, different type of clients, different types of like if you're sending letters, different type of buyer profiles, right? You're missing out on this experience if you don't do a good amount of volume. So volume is important. If you're just looking for like side hustle, you won't replace your salary. You can make some extra cash, but even then you have to put in work. It's not easy. You have to you're running a business and you have to treat it like a business, right? So it's not like, oh, I just participate in tax auction and win some property and put it on the MLS, I'm going to be a millionaire. Because you have to spend time performing due diligence. You have to make sure you do comps, you don't overpay. You have to learn how to do the land valuation properly. It's not easy. Nothing is automated in terms of valuation. And there are softwares that claim to be automated, but if you don't like, learn, like manually evaluate them, you can make mistakes, and you don't want to make mistakes. So the goal is to do proper due diligence, buy good land at good valuation so you can make money on the sell side. So the bad would be that it requires work. It's not like an easy, like a Bitcoin thing. You just buy and wait, and it's going to go up in value. So the ugly is you will be some duds. You will lose some money in some deals, and that's the reason why volume is is so important. Because if you're doing like 100 deals and 5 of them don't make money, you still made a massive amount of money because 95 worked. If you only do 5 and all 5 lost money, right? So you'll be like, oh, land doesn't work. Well, but you only did 5, right? You got to do more. So that would be the good, bad, and ugly.
Oh, your book.
Hey, oh yeah. Sorry.
We want to know about you.
Oh, what inspired me to write my book? So I did. So I launched this book. I started writing it when we're getting close to 700 mark, and my wife had a book that she wrote when we were like close to 500 mark, I think. And I was like, okay, so I think the lessons that we learned were much different than what we learned at like the 400 500 mark. And I wanted to and my wife's book was more of the from a due diligence perspective, and I wanted to write a principles book that would be timeless, that we can, our kids are growing and getting older, so I wanted to document principles that my kids can use, and like later generations can use. And the idea was to not write a how-to book, but write a timeless principles book, because if you write a how-to book, it's going to get outdated very quickly, because the technology changes, software changes, the real estate market. So we don't know, right? And the book can become outdated very quickly. So that's the reason why I wanted to write a principles books that will never go outdated in theory. So that was the inspiration for later generations to learn from the mistakes and from the lessons that took us too long to learn. Because if we knew what we knew now, we would have reached 7 figures in the first year. But because it took us like 7 8 years to learn those principles, I just wanted to consolidate them in one book, so it's something that we can go back and refer to as well.
That you wrote in your book that people can apply when they want to buy land.
Wait, Harry, I'm losing you again.
Okay.
Say it again.
What are your 3 favorite principles when it comes to buying land?
Oh, 3 favorite principles when it comes to buying land. I would say we discussed the 5 principles. Those were more business, from the business perspective. I would give you the 3 best ones from a sales perspective, because sales is, yeah, it is tricky. Because when we started the business, we didn't really put a lot of attention on the sales side, because we were like, well, the most of the focus should be on the acquisition side, because if we buy the property at the right price, we can sell it. Totally flawed. It's 100% flawed way of thinking, because you could literally buy the property on the MLS at full price, and if you know how to sell, you can still make money by doing a good job in marketing and sales. So I would say my 3 favorite principles. So the first one is proof beats promise, which means that you can promise something. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a good job. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. But if you have proof, if you can show them that people in their situation in the past, we have helped them, right, in terms of testimonials, like written testimonials, video testimonials, live testimonials, just like having the customer come on your live stream. So if you can demonstrate using proof, that's much more powerful than just making promises that we're going to do a good job. So that's one of the principles I would like to highlight. The second one is decision. The decision is the product on a sales call. So when you're on a sales call with a customer, your goal is not persuasion. You're not trying to persuade them to buy your thing. Your job is to make sure they come to a decision. So what does that mean? So if 100 people come to your show up on your sales calls, out of 100, usually 10 people will always buy, no matter what you say, because they just love the product. 10 people will never buy because they're not in the market. They're just like goofing around. But the rest 80 people are undecided. They don't know whether they should buy or not buy. And your job as a salesperson is not to convince them to buy, but for your job is to convince them to make a yes or no decision. Because when you frame every sales conversation like that, then it takes the pressure off. You're not, because you're in the guide frame. You're just guiding them. You're helping them. That's all you care about. You don't care about sale anymore. You care about them making a decision. Doesn't matter whether they make a yes decision or no decision, or maybe it's a maybe decision that they're gonna make in 30 days. Doesn't matter. They need to come to a decision. You cannot end the call by them saying, oh yeah, I'll think about it, right? Because then you didn't do a good job as a salesperson. You need to guide them, help them make a decision, whether it's yes or no, doesn't matter. So that's the second principle. So the first principle I highlighted was proof beats promise. The second principle I highlighted was the decision is the product on the sales call. And the third principle I would like to highlight is emotion starts the sale, logic sustains it. So what does that mean? A lot of people are like first-time buyers. They're like very emotional. They're like, oh, I can't believe I can buy land for $500 down, $500 per month for like 3 years, right? They'd get very emotional. We had like this one guy who booked like a Zoom call with us, and he was like, oh, I just found your website. I didn't even know it was possible to buy land for $500 and $500 per month. I would buy like 5 of them. I was like, really? You want to buy 5? Say, okay. If that's your decision, right? He was like so excited. He was like crying. He's like, I can't believe this. I always wanted to buy land. I just didn't know you can buy it in such an affordable fashion, right? So we had this call. I was like, all right, just send me the paperwork and I will get the process started. So, okay. So we sent him the paperwork and we never heard from him, right? And then 2 weeks later, we get an email. It's saying, oh, I'm really sorry. I got emotional, but I can't really afford 5 properties, right? And he got like embarrassed, right? But if we had done a good job and if we were logical on the call, because we were like, oh, okay, he wants to buy 5. Why would we stop the sale? Let him buy 5, right? But now we know better. This is like the earlier days. Now we know better. Like we know people get emotional, and emotions start the sale. But unless it makes logical sense for them, you have to frame the conversation logically. You have to like get to their budget. Talk. Can you actually afford the $500 payments every month? What kind of budget? What budget do you look like? How much discretionary income you have, right? So that education process, the logical education process, if it's missing, then you're gonna have a lot of people who are not following through on the buy decision. They'll flake you, or they'll ask for a refund, or they'll like buy it and then complain and then be like, oh yeah, but I don't want this, I don't want that, right? They'll like, we don't want them to have buyer's remorse. We want the sale to be sustained and for them to be happy. So that would be my third principle. Emotion starts the sale and logic sustains it.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.